battles and gridlock are more of the normal these days than not on Capitol Hill. The latest fight is over extending payroll tax cuts. Let's get some insight now from our Washington executive editor, Al Hunt. And Al, I'm guessing you're not going to be applying for that job.
Margaret, if you will bike with me, I'll go.
That's a deal. Could be an interesting show, Al. I mean, a job's a job these days in many ways, kidding aside. And these payroll tax cuts are supposedly going to help the employment picture and maybe ultimately economic growth. So figuring out how to pay for them is pretty important. Democrats and Republicans want the tax cuts, but they can't fund them. I mean, where does this go next?
Well, it's about political posturing. It's the end of the year season, Margaret. It's what happens even in normal times, and these are not normal times. The payroll tax holiday will be extended. The Democrats want to do it through a tax on very, very wealthy people. The whole idea of a tax increase is anathema to most Republicans, so they're coming up with a bunch of other proposals, a number of them gimmicks. For instance, millionaires would be declared ineligible for food stamps. I don't know a lot of millionaires who are getting food stamps, and they can't give me an example. They're going to posture, and they're going to get it done.
Right, I saw that. The means testing for food stamps and means testing for unemployment benefits. Do we know how that would work?
I don't think it would affect anybody. I don't, as I say, maybe they have examples of all sorts of Wall Street bankers who are now on unemployment compensation or while still making millions, but I doubt it.
It raised some eyebrows, I know, trying to figure out how that was going to actually work, but that's where we are right now, and trying to find a way to pay for things.
And they do propose to increase the premiums on Medicare for people making over $750,000 a year. Now, that would produce a little bit of revenue.
Right, yeah, I've heard more on that in terms of means testing. But, you know, Al, we've been talking about the tremendous money being raised on the campaign trail for 2012. Believe it or not, the primary season is actually the cheapest in a decade. How is that?
Yeah, it's interesting. Mitt Romney spent about a third as much as he spent 4 years ago. Gingrich has managed to soar without spending any money because he's been broke. A couple factors here, Margaret. One is the debates. You haven't needed to put paid media on because the debates have given such exposure. That's why Gingrich, Kaine, and others have been able to rise. A second reason is that it's slightly misleading because a lot of money is going to these so-called independent groups, super PACs. Supreme Court opened the floodgates to all sorts of special interest money. I still think it will be an enormously expensive 2012. But so far, it's a lot less expensive than 4 years ago.
Well, it's certainly creating a lot of TV programming. Thank you. Thank you very much, Al Hunt. We will see you tomorrow.